Discuss today start.
हाँ हाँ स्टार्ट रिकॉर्डिंग में स्टार्ट
Okay. So, hello guys. My health is a bit down, so I hope I am audible, right? So, yeah, today's session will be mainly on storytelling, right? So, I'm telling you a bit about what I've learned in 2 3 years. I've worked on a lot of videos with a lot of creators and for myself also, right? I'm telling you on the from perspective of video and text form storytelling, how to write a good story kind of. Even Gurfateh told you mainly about LinkedIn post, how to write good LinkedIn post as in the form of story. So I'll give you the overview. Right? So as you know, like storytelling is the art of using pictures, words to convey your story or to entertain or inform people or connect with each other, right? So that is storytelling, right? That is very basic, you all know it, right? So there is something called three act structure, right? So it is like setup or layout or hook, like when you're writing a story or uh, the first thing is setup. You have to set up, give background about what you are talking about, right? Let's suppose, for example, talking about me, let's suppose I'm giving a bit about myself. Like Surya, which is me, is a final year student of BTech, and I'm working on my agency every day 6 hours, right? So you get a bit about idea about me, like who is Surya. So okay, Surya is a student of BTech, right? What he is working about. So he's working on his agency, right? So that is setup. I've given you a bit of setup or a hook, or you can say layout, right? The second thing is conflict or climax or struggle, right? Without struggle or conflict, a good story is doesn't matter, right? So in conflict there is a problem with Surya, right? Or the hero or the character, whatever you want to say, right? So let's suppose just a random example. So for me, let's suppose one random day I feel demotivated, like I was not able to work anymore, and just 2 months left for my placement, and I have to convince my parents that I'm leaving the placement and doing something of my own. Right? This is my struggle. Right? So first, what I've done, I have set up my story. Right? I'm a Surya, final year BTech student, and I'm working my on my agency. Second is conflict or the challenges which I'm facing. Like I'm not feeling enough motivated to work on my agency and all those things. Like with some kind of struggle which I have, right? Which I have to work on, right? So this is conflict. And the third thing is resolution, like the solution you can say. Like, so I went to my co-founder, that is Richita, and I told him that, I'm suffering from these kind of problems. So maybe she has done pushed me or, motivated me enough, and I've done just a rough idea, right? So I've started again working and I have achieved what I want to achieve, right? So this is called three act structure. Like first you have to do setup, a bit about hero's background or everything. Then second is conflict, maybe struggle. Like everyone has struggle in his life. And the third thing is resolution, right? So this is called three act structure of storytelling, right? I hope I am clear, right? Okay, thank you. So the second thing is there are techniques to tell a story, right? So first technique I already tell you. This is a linear story, like the setup, conflict, and the resolution. This is a kind of linear story, right? The second thing is single hook type of storytelling. What does this mean? Like you give the setup, conflict, and resolution, but you again, reuse the hook again and again. What I mean by this, let's suppose you are watching a uh, you are watching maybe a video, right? And I'm again using the same hook, like I have to achieve my placements, I have to achieve my placements, right? You are telling a story, but the hook is coming again and again and again, right? This is called single hook storytelling, right? Then there is something called multiple hooks and multiple resolution. Let's suppose you want to achieve something big, right? Like Surya want to clear the placement, right? But in between you have a lot of problems or you have a lot of conflicts, like multiple hooks, right? Hooks is like kind of conflicts, kind of problems, right? Like there is a problem that maybe my parents are not, well enough to afford my education, something like this. I have a breakup problem, something related to this. So my main goal is to clear the placement, but in between I have multiple problems, right, which I have to tackle. My parents' problem, my relationship problem, or everything, right? So this is called multiple hooks plus multiple resolution storytelling structure, right? This is used in a lot of movies or a lot of Mr. Beast video or whichever Brurati or whatever you can say, right? Yeah. So they use this kind of storytelling, multiple hooks plus multiple resolution, right? They start with a good, structure that let's suppose you have to save your nation or something like this. In between, they give a lot of problems that this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem, and then maybe they will give the solution or may not. It depends, right? So that is called multiple hooks and multiple resolution problem, right? So there is something called hero's journey, right? So from now, whenever you watch a movie or any video, just put this formula into that, right? Think from my perspective, right? Just give me let me clear you what I'm saying, right? So there is something called the hero's journey, right, or hormone cycle. I don't remember the writer who gave this formula or the story telling technique. I don't remember. Maybe the hormone. The name of the writer is Harmon. I don't remember. Right. So let's suppose this is you, right, and you want something, right? So you are the hero of your story, and you want something, right, badly. Then obviously this is your zone of comfort because you want something. Then you have to struggle. You have to come out from your comfort zone, right? Then you struggle. Then after a certain period of time, you adapt it, right? You came from your zone of comfort, right? And the fifth thing is either you win or lose. Anything will happen, right? Then return, right? And then change, right? Let's suppose, for example, right, you are preparing for UPSC, and I'm just giving a random example, right? So you want UPSC exam to be clear, right? Then you have to struggle, like you have to study a lot, right? You have to do a lot of study, right? Then after a certain period of time, you adapt that you have to study for 10 hours, right? Then you are adaptable. Then either you will crack it or lose it, right? Either you will crack it or not crack it, right? Then you will return. There will be a change in you, right? You will become a better person, or you get a lot of knowledge. Either you win or lose. You will gain a lot of knowledge, right? So this is the kind of uh, eight type of storytelling. Every picture, every movie, every writing, every LinkedIn post, every video, anything comes in this eight kind of storytelling, right? The hero's journey, right? Which the person who gave this is called the hero's journey or hormone cycle, right? So from now, whenever you watch a movie, whenever you watch a video, always try to put this eight kind of structure in your mind and think if this video is fit in this storytelling, right? You can obviously now this is relatable for you because whenever you are going to watch the video, you have seen that all the videos or all the movies comes in this, you know, this eight structure cycle, right? So yes, same thing I've written. Like there is a correct character who wants something, right? So he have to go from his comfort zone to discomfort zone, right? Means he have to struggle. He adapts the struggle, and then he will win or lose. Right? In movies, they always show win, but in real life, always there is not always you win or there is a happy ending. It like at the end it will be a happy ending at the end of your life, but maybe in short term you either lose or win, right? So it depends, right? So and also, but everyone you have to lose something, right? For cracking UPSC, you have to leave your sleep, you have to compromise with your friend circle and all those things. So you have to lose something, right? With everyone. Uh, then you will get return and you have some change in you, right? In character or everything, right? In your personality overall. So this is the eight structure of storytelling. From now, I would urge you to, have a look of the video or anything, any movie, and fit into this eight structure, right? So one more thing, for a good story, uh, with this is the graph of tension and time. So after a certain period of time, like in starting, you have to build tension, 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 and after a certain period of time, your tension decreases, right? So when you hit the threshold, right, and then you will give the solution at the end. So whenever you are writing a script or uh, writing the script of a video, first start with a background, give tension, tension, tension. What do you mean by tension? Means conflict or small triggers or something like this. And after a certain period of time, when you hit the threshold, you have to give the solution easily, 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 right? So every movie, every video, everything comes under this two structure. The first thing I mentioned, conflict resolution, and the second thing is Hugo's journey forward, right? So this is a bit about what storytelling is and how you can write a good story whenever you are writing for for maybe short video or for maybe LinkedIn post. Now Gurfateh will actually tell you how to write exactly the short form LinkedIn post, right? But before going ahead, if you have any doubt till now, you can ask directly, right? So you have any doubt? Anyone? Okay, is it good? Please react. Okay, thank you. So now Gulfateh, please take over and give a detailed about how to write a good LinkedIn post with
Acha,
storytelling and all.
wait. Wait. Rohit had a he raised his hand. So
Yes,
Rohit
Rohit.
had a
Yes, Rohit, tell me. Rohit, bro.
हेलो।
Rohit, हाँ, bro, tell me.
हाँ, एक्चुअली वो जो पॉइंट था ना, आपने जो सर्कल मुझे शोकेस करके बताया था अभी।
Hmm.
हाँ, सो इस सर्कल में फर्स्ट और सेकंड पॉइंट क्या है?
So first is you, like you are the hero of your story, right?
ओके एंड
Second
सेकंड?
is you. Second is you want something badly. Anything, right? Let's suppose you want to marry or you want to crack UPSC, anything like. Uh,
ओके
what do you want, right, in life? For me, it will be building my agency to $10,000 monthly, right? For you, it will be different, right? So I want something badly. Then third thing is struggle. You want something badly, then you have to go for a change, right? You have to change yourself and you have to come out from your comfort zone to discomfort zone, right? And then you have to act or study or whatever, right? You have to struggle a lot and then you adapt that change, right? After a certain period of time, right? And then either you win or lost. In movies, you actually think that the hero will win, but in life, you always not win, right? In short form, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the end frame, right? In real life, you either win or lost, right? And after every win or loss, there is a change, right, in you, in your personality, right? So this is the eight storytelling structure which everyone uses in every video or in any every movie, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? So whenever you writing a uh, LinkedIn post or writing a video for your script, fit your uh, post or script in these eight frames, right? So yeah, helpful. Is it helpful?
Yes, 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 definitely. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Okay, good Fateh. Now please take over.
Hi, hi everyone. So, as Surya told you about the technical side of the storytelling, I will give you about the foundational side. First of all, here is a brief about me. I am Gurpate, a storyteller on LinkedIn and X, and we will walk towards how to craft a story from the very basics of it. So, wait, let me share a screen. Hmm, Is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's go. First of all, start with the story. From the ancient times, storytelling has been one of the effective ways to win the heart of people. If you see in Mahabharata, Ramayana, both are type of stories that has shown us a narration between how the stories of Pandava and Bhagwan Rama has progressed over the period of time. Every platform has its own level of storytelling. Like if you lean towards Instagram, it has visual storytelling in forms of reels, and if you move towards the platform like LinkedIn, Medium, it the story is there in written format. Think of this: it's a Monday morning. You post around 8 to 9 a.m. You scroll through LinkedIn with a cup of coffee, and the posts are probably filled with corporate jargon, recycled tips, and Monday motivation posts. Would you even want to stay on the same platform? If it was me, I will never stay there. But there is always a thing that often catches your attraction, a journey expressed in the words. That is a story. Maybe it should be a career setback, or we all are too familiar with. As Surya said, like someone wants to achieve UPSC but wasn't able to achieve it, the crack the exam. You pause, read, and maybe even hit like. That's the power of the storytelling. In the next 30 minutes, we will cover six topics. First of all, how I found my voice, the real three life movement that makes story great, storytelling on LinkedIn, the most common mistake, and at last, two exercises that will help you to make your storytelling better. First of all, first one is how I found my voice by writing what I feared. In the initial days of my journey, I used to follow big names on LinkedIn. Like you can name anyone like Matt Barker, Lara Costa, and but in truth, nothing worked for me. I got so frustrated that I quit my LinkedIn for a month. Even the notifications used to annoy me. But there was thing that you was in my mind that if I take a chance, share my own story, what will happen? Because as you know, the storytelling on LinkedIn is one of the most hot topics, but no one ever tells you how to write a story from the basics. I talked about my moments, the lows and ups and downs that made me stressed. The magic of it was I realized something that I had authenticity. But then came another mistake of mine. With the rush of likes, comments, and impressions, I started chasing metrics. Like I wanted more impressions. I forgot that I am a human too. My audience does not want me perfect. And the mistake I did was I lacked vulnerability. I was not vulnerable. I never showed my bad side or the side that was I was carving daily. These two, authenticity and vulnerability, are twin pillars of any good story. But if we misuse them, they are double-edged swords. Like go far to authenticity, you will share a perfect picture of yourself, which might not be even real. If you are too much vulnerable, you will overshare your story. So how you can balance them both? Through relatability. If your story isn't relatable, it is bound to fail. Like if you are saying that I did this, I did this, I did this, but if someone like like we can take an example like UPSC example. If someone has cracked the UPSC exam, they will share the story. But that same story reaches the people who doesn't have any interest in UPSC. Will they find any connection with it? No. If you're writing your to your ICPs, you're not telling who you are. You're telling them what they're going to get through. You're holding up a mirror to their pain and saying, "Damn, this person knows me." So if we sum it up, every foundational strong story needs authenticity, vulnerability, and relatability. Without these three, you cannot create a right story. Like you cannot build trust, connection, and credibility. Here's just an example. What I explained, you will click this link and you will get to one of my posts. The second thing, like before that, someone having any doubt with it, with the section
No,
one?
no, no, no.
Okay, let's go. What makes a story great? I call it three pause structure. Many elements make a story great, but many creators confuse emotionally great stories with just eye-catching ones. Like both are different. Eye-catching stories grab attention to absurdity, something illogical or unexpected. If you can say, like, I earned $10,000 in a day, like it is something absurd. It also can be referred as clickbait. Like many people here hate clickbaits because if you can't justify it ahead in the story, people will just unfollow you. But great stories pull you emotionally, feel relatable, and teach without trying too hard. I often categorize them into three powerful poses. The first one is the shift movement. Take 10 seconds. It is exercise. Take 10 seconds. Think of a belief you once held strongly about your work, people, or yourself that you have now outgrown. That's where your story starts. The moment when a personal bias, a childhood tendency, or an extreme opinion gets challenged or reshapes. Example, you can say, I used to think showing emotions would make me look weak. It can be used as a hook. You are telling the story in your hook itself. This kind of shift builds trust because people don't follow creators, they follow the growing ones. These stories show you emotional transformation, a move towards betterment, a mindset evolution that you can audience can relate to. Most of these stories, if you remember in our last session, top of the funnel content are seen in the top of the funnel content. Like if I go a day back, I have seen story of Aditi. There was Aditi's story around hair, how her hair was started at looking good and how she related it with her brand. That's what we call shift storytelling, that you have a metaphor, a real life example, and you change it towards branding or personal style story. The next one is the client set this movement. As you know, there is a word client, it probably relates with middle of the funnel or the bottom of the funnel storyline. These stories are born on calls, like consulting calls and networking calls with your ICPs, the people you have conversations within DMs. When your client says something, it can be, I don't know how much I should share. Like, or you can say, I don't know what will people think of me if I show my vulnerable side. That's your damn story right there. You have to, you need to have a copy pen or note taker, that because you know your expertise and you can solve it right there. In this type of post, you turn your pain into the proof. You show your raw frustration and then provide them a solution. You're not just telling a story, but a transformation. Like as I said before, it is used in middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel content. Think of it like a tip. Think about the last time a client made you pose. Write it down. Keep running list of these scores. That's just story bank right there. Next one is this made me pause moment. Like it can be a shift pause. Like I often try to explain it as a maturity moment. Like as we grow in the life, we all has tendencies that we leave behind. Like a child cannot be similar to an adult. There are some things that are bound to be
We
different. These are those type of stories. These pause revealing your why. Why it's connecting personal memories to the mission of helping your ICPs. It's flexible across the all type of format, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. But in my experience, it shines bright in top of the funnel plus bottom of the funnel hybrid, because if you want to write such type of stories, you can do next time something moves with you, like you are having a bad day but a stranger smiled in front of you. You can take it as a story, a beautiful sign of life, that it has given you sign to be happy. That's your story right there. I often call them as a reflection post, that in which we turn something small into something meaningful. At the last a reminder of this section, storytelling is not about something to stress about. It is already there in your daily life, your interactions, and even your monologues. You just need to notice it, because the most powerful content is hiding in your memories. Anyone having doubt till here? Okay, so let's start. But storytelling actually does on LinkedIn. Now we are here on the main point, how I can use storytelling on LinkedIn. We all have seen all those glorified posts on LinkedIn, that this post brought me 10 plus lead, 100k views, and 3 dream clients. But have you ever asked them the question, how? Like, have you ever been skeptical that this thing sounds to be fishy? The I have asked many few times, and to be honest, I never got a reply from most of them. But the few who did, I asked them personally and had one thing in common. Even around 60% of those lead generating posts had one ingredient running through them, that's a story. Not a CTA, not a heavy hook template, or genuine relatable movement that made the reader feel something. For example, imagine a wellness founder shares this. I used to wake up hating the office. The thought of my morning felt like stabbed to the chest. It is not a strategy or a lead magnet, but if you're someone working in corporate doing the same thing, you will relate to that story at first glance, because if you are suffering this, we humans tend to together get together in most of the types of suffering. Like as we say, हम किसी की खुशी के साथ ना हो बट हम दुख पे साथ जरूर होने चाहिए. That's the damn thing here. Like, now imagine you have been nurturing leads in your DMs. The single story becomes the final emotional push towards that inbound leads, because people are most probably know us, but the story makes them to take the action. Like if you are a graphic designer, in another example, you are doing all the things, posting daily, engaging with ICPs, and building a relationship in DMs. Then you post a story about how you help the client find their visual vibe, how the right color palette helped them, how their new branding let them feel express themselves. The story doesn't showcase your work, it reflects your process and trust. Because let's be honest, as Surya told, there are various types of storytelling, and out of that, graphic design is storytelling too. Every banner, carousel, and visual element speaks about a message without needing a word. Just like words, visuals have tone. A calm color palette tells a wellness story. Like if you have seen the Bhakti's or Richita's palette, they exude with a vibe. Like Richita has a joyful one, Bhakti has a calm branding. That's the power of visual storytelling. Like here's a bit example, the summary. Help a founder by seeing that turns a soft personal post into meaningful DM. Make clients say that a post just sounded like me but better. That's the truth. Slow storytelling throughout your post shapes your positioning, because how the people will perceive you always shaped by your stories. If you are posting daily tips, do this, you will become this, do this, you will become this. There is me element absent in your LinkedIn posting. That's how you shape your storytelling. If I speak about my own brand, my positioning is deeply humane because I work with the wellness space, founders, coaches, and healers. Because that's something they will relate to. We are not shaping ourselves something different from us, but we are expressing another side of our character that we suppress with our authenticity. Like it's an example, it's just daily polishing of a diamond, your brand, until it becomes a reflection, a mirror of what your audience slightly longs for. Tip: the next time you write a bottom of the funnel, don't just list results. Share a movement, an objection your client had, a breakthrough, a low down movement. The story can become emotional bridge to your service, and you will surely get a right qualified inbound lead. Any doubt till now? So let's start with ahead. This is just a bit of a technical section. I analyzed many people's posts a day back, and these were the common mistakes I found. First of one, no clear message. If your story doesn't have a clear message, a purpose, like Surya talked about, your want. If your story doesn't have that thing, you will never attract your audience. They will be wondering after reading 300 plus words that what's this post about. The solution about it, you can fix it having a core message or intention before start of the story. Make sure each and every sentence supports it. If you are writing a sad story, it should have a sad message, like a shift towards positivity. Like if I say my example or Surya's example, Surya had many other posts. I still remember he had a post about his birthday, like what he learned about things over the period of time. That's also a clear message. Like Surya is sharing his learning there. Second one, over complex plot. If you have said so many things into a story, like make it too long and boring, you will fend off the reader, because no one wants to read a lot of things in a simple 300 to 500 words. The simple solution is you have to keep it simple and clear to one detail. The third one is zero to low conflict. If your story does not have a challenge or an obstacle, like because stories are all about twists, like what we call plot twists in movies and novels. If your story has that thing, it will be engaging because as a protagonist or main character overcomes them, only then he can relate to with his audience. Solution, as it is already said, introduce a challenge or obstacle to keep your audience till the hooked till the end. The fourth one is lack of emotion. This is the one of the biggest mistakes I have seen. Like if you take any tip post like I you can do this, like this storytelling section, specifically the fourth one, it is same the same mistake I committed here. There is no emotion here. I'm just telling you emotion solution, emotion question solution, the same damn thing I'm doing here. I'm guilty of the same. If you see, like if your story does not have an audience feel something, it will lose its purpose. The solution to it is make the character in your story to go through something, to a suffering, because people relate when we are at the down points of life. Some even jealous of us, but the one that are true to us, the true friends, they will surely connect with us at that moment. The fifth one is inconsistent tone. Like a story needs to have a inconsistent tone. Like if you are writing a serious story or emotional story, like if I still remember, there was post of Bhakti on Father's Day about his father. It had an emotional and positive tone. That's the thing we need to have in our post, because if your story doesn't have a similar tone, we make it funny at one point, emotional at another point, it is not gonna work. There needs to be consistency. But there is a tip I would like to share. Beginners should use AI for this. Like you can use it, but do not depend on it. Like you can write a prompt that this is my LinkedIn post. You have to check this and that. It has a consistent tone or not. Just you will get the feedback because this is something we learn with the time. The whole storytelling point is you will learn it with the experience. Like as they say, जिंदगी में जितने बार धक्के नहीं खाए आप लिखना नहीं सीख सकते. The same thing happens here. The sixth one is unresolved endings. Like in literature, we call it anticlimactic. Like the story doesn't have a proper ending. It feels like the conflict you have started, but doesn't end with an unsatisfied or great end. Like if you wrote a story about how I overcome a challenge, how I achieved this much percentage in my exam, but at the end you didn't share what you got, even you didn't told us about what even I failed or not. That gives the story unresolved ending. The solution is simple. Give a proper conclusion to what you have started. The seventh one, the most important one, in bottom of the funnels stories, ignoring the audience. If your story does not resonate with your audience, like you are not mentioning your ICP pain points or your own audience, like fellow creators, fellow ghostwriters, storytellers, you will never grab their attention. The solution to it is make your story revolve around what they care and make it relatable to them. The eighth one is overly complex language. I think everyone knows this one. If you use technical terms like metamorphosis, anything, your story is bound to fail because the reader will not be there to Google your post and tell me this meaning of this thing. If you're trying to sound smart or eloquent, the main example here, complex words, you don't have to use it because it breaks connection. The solution to it is I call it a KISS method. Keep it simple and clear. I, they should be smart. The clear is a typo error. Ninth one, this lack of visuals and description. As you know, the story is there to evoke an imagination. If you are not evoking an imagination in reader's mind, the reader will just, if you know, skim it. Like this, and this. This is the main reason why you have seen irrelevant comments that doesn't have any relation to your story on your post. The solution to it, you can use picture storytelling. Picture storytelling is something like AI visual, but I do not recommend it. Like if you wrote a post about your morning routine, like how do you visit gym and how do you daily work, you can post your story of your laptop, your gym routine, anything else. That's what we call a picture storytelling, that people can imagine you there. And the other one is sensory words. Like if you simple take a simple example, instead of using pain, you can describe a scenario: a chill, sharp, broken glass pierced in her skin. You are imagining that same thing, like how a glass is piercing in her skin. This is similar to pain, but it's now evokes your senses. The last one is you are not the main character of the story. This is 50% right, 50% wrong. Stop using I till the very end of your stories or even your comments. It signifies arrogance. Like if you have started a story from I and you end it with the I, like I did this, I will overcome this. That's utter, we can say, garbage as a story, because I have seen creators, they say that creator signifies arrogance. Like even if we share a story in the comments, like you have seen many people story sharing their stories under the comment of some posts, they share I did this, I am this copywriter, I am this copywriter, but you don't have any relation to the person who is reading it. The solution to it is use I to you writing. I call it a simple, like you started a story with I will do this, I will get 1,000 followers till this. Like if I take example, I will get followers till June 30th, and we can later tell we will achieve it together. Like it's your own aim, but you are including all the fellow creators who are reading it, that we all will achieve it together. This is what we call I to you method, or I to we method. Like next one, in an essence, this is just a simple summary. These mistakes are often bound to happen. We all are not perfect. The only way to get better at it is keep writing, keep refining. And the best way to stop these mistakes is the two storytelling exercise that will I tell you in just next section. Before that, anyone having a doubt? Uh, Hi Rohit, any doubt?
हाँ एक्चुअली मेरा फर्स्ट और सेकंड पॉइंट नोट करना बाकी रह गया तो आप मुझे बता सकते हैं 2 मिनट के लिए.
Yeah, sure, man. These two, like, should I explain them or is it fine?
No, just name the.
ठीक है. Just let me know when we have to move it.
Okay, so completed.
ठीक है. So, last one, the ending section of the part. Even if you are a beginner, the person who does not even know anything about storytelling, there are two simple exercises that you can do to find stories in your life. As you know, the best tip to write storytelling is to write. There is no hack to it. You will get better at it over a period of time. But these are two exercises that you can try. The first one is two-sided storyline. Like most creators write only one part of their journey. If you are a business professional, you will surely write how you manage tasks, how you complete it, get it done by this and that. And that's when you have wondered that why my stories are not landing or connecting on a deeper level. The simple exercise is try this. Grab a piece of paper, draw a line straight down the middle. On the left, write person. On the right, write business. Now list it down. The person movements like your personal life, how you are as a person, as a human being. Like you can write about the hardest year in your life, the quiet win, even your board exam results comes under here. A turning point change that how you see yourself. These are the type of the personal stories. And under the next one section, on the other side, the business section, you can write about your professional life, like how you helped a client do this, like how your client was frustrated, like how you even scaled your business and started stepped into freelancing. You can, the most common ones, first time you signed a client, like we all love it, a mistake that taught you something crucial, a DM that changed your approach, or your even your first burnout or win. By the end of this, you will have two types of stories. One that shows your heart, the second one that shows your hands. But here's a small tip from my journey. Most people tend to lean heavily on business posts, not because they don't have a personal stories, but they're afraid to share them. Because personal stories, the ones you write last minute with trembling hands, are the ones that makes readers stop the scroll because they left us without what you felt. They built trust and expertise. Tip: before you begin your 2025 storytelling journey, do this. Go through your list. Like if you have performed exercise, I would recommend you to perform it from tomorrow or today. Do this a check before you post your very first story on LinkedIn or even any other platform like Medium or Twitter. Go through your list. Think of all those stories. Like, is there any another story like where I share my personal perspective, even if it is a business one? There is no magic ratio between like you will have 100 personal stories, 50 business stories. It can be one, two, three, four, five, so on. You don't have to be dramatic. You have to be real because that's what make people stay. Anyone having doubt about first exercise? Okay, so let's go ahead. So I wanted to mention a thing. This storytelling exercise was generally the credit goes to Phil Shortland on LinkedIn. You can follow him there. He often posts that such tips about storytelling too. The second exercise is the 5 day journal method. I have seen many people do journaling in their life. They love it. They feel like it is a natural relief or medication. But not every story needs to come off a big life moment. Some of the most meaningful stories come from quiet corner of your everyday life. That's where the exercise comes in. A habit that helped me stop overthinking and start noticing the stories that was there right behind or in front of my eyes. Try this. For 1 week, have a daily copy or journal. There is no structure like in previous one we had a structure outline this or that. There is no structure. You have to just write what happened today with you, like what happened, what did you meet, what moved you, what annoyed you, what made you smile, or even your worst day of the life. It should be pen there. You don't need to be make it perfect, just write what happened. And on the next weekend, like the upcoming weekend, about after 5 days, if you started Monday, on Saturday, the very sixth day on the weekend, you will have past 5 days. You will have to go through them. Like, is there any lesson there, a shift in perspective, or a story, small story with a big meaning? If you find it, that's your content right there for the next week. Because I do patching of my LinkedIn content. I write all the stories on Saturday and edit them on Sunday. That's how I do it because the stories are almost there. I just have to find them. Like it's the same thing I just said above. Because stories are already, but at the moment you slow down and reflect, you realize your day wasn't boring, but it was filled with potential content that may or may not attract your potential client. All you need for this exercise is a pen, pause, and your presence. Anyone having doubt? And second one, okay, so let's start. Like this is the final section of story. This is not a tip, but just a small talk with me. And if still you are afraid to start writing stories there, because I have been there too, writing, backspacing, and overthinking every word, worrying that if my story will land, it will be relatable, it will be this or that. I would suggest you not to pay heed any to those things. Stories cannot be flawless. They are bound to grammar errors, clever hooks, and even clickbait things that people will read and say like मेरे चेहरे पे बेवकूफ लिखा है. These are things are bound to happen in the journey, but you just have to keep going on. The best thing I would suggest you to have a journal, or you can make a multiple accounts like LinkedIn. You can practice short term storytelling or mid term storytelling. On Medium you can write like Snehalata, big storytelling like big post, long format. On Twitter you all know about it, like you can practice your hook storytelling, as you know, a story in the 3 lines of hook. So even if you are scared, if you think you are not ready, even if you feel your story is too small, just write it anyway. Because sometimes the post you are afraid of publish is something that someone needed to read today. Because you don't have to go viral, you don't have to be loudest. You just have to start. So go write that story, not to impress, but to connect. We all will be there for cheering you quietly, but fully in the comments because I know what it means to try. Thank you. Hi Richita, can you take over from here?
Okay, so I hope this is valuable. Right. So if anyone has any questions, please raise your hands and ask with Kirpati. Anyone has any questions related to storytelling, anything, right? You can ask anything. Anyone?
Anything. Is it your daily posting or about stories, how you can make them better, or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, like Abhishek has all clear. Amazing explanation. Thank you, Limsi. Okay, so ठीक है बढ़िया हो गया.
Okay, that's great. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a cool.
so I would
So
like to mention a thing before, like everyone. First of all, a big applause for Surya because Surya की आज तबीयत बहुत खराब थी, but still he gave the session. So I would like to all you have a clap for him.
thank you, bro.
लगता है
Right.
यार.
So guys, Gupta has done a lot of work in researching and all those things. We will get to the resources, right? In resources section of our WhatsApp, right? So before you left the meeting and we'll conclude it, I would love to listen your feedback on WhatsApp group, right? Because Gurfateh has done a lot of hard work in making these sessions and all those materials and resources, right? So that will be really uh, helpful for us, and that will be really good for us. That will really motivate us. Motivate us. So yeah. So please leave a feedback and anything, right? Anything in your mind, and you can directly reach out to us anytime, right? If you have any kind of questions, right? So if you don't have doubt, so I would the thing which we always do, right? Please open your camera and we'll do a photo session, right? So that's the favorite session which we have.
Okay, I will stop the recording then.
Yes, yes, please.
कर लो कर लो.